Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, August 21, 2023. Increased capacity in Jamaica's mining and quarrying industry helped to drive an estimated 1.5% growth in the economy during the April to June quarter of 2023. The Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, is also projecting GDP growth for the current July to September quarter in the range of 1 to 2%. PIOJ Director General Dr. Wayne Henry made that report at the Institute's quarterly media briefing last Thursday. The estimate for this quarter's growth is based on projected improvement in most industries, led by the mining and quarrying and hotels and restaurant sectors, in addition to other services and transport, storage, and communication. For April to June, the services industry grew by 1.8% and the goods producing industry by an estimated 1%.
The goods producing industry grew by an estimated 1%, with improved performance recorded for the mining and quarrying industry, which was sufficient to outweigh contractions recorded for the manufacturing, agriculture, and construction industries.
The PIOJ says there was also increased demand spurred by higher levels of employment and increased business and consumer confidence when compared to the corresponding quarter in 2022. Homeless persons in Ocho St. Anne now have somewhere to shelter at night, following the official opening of the Ocho Night Shelter in Buckfield. Minister of Local Government and Community Development, Desmond McKenzie, opened the facility on Friday. The building, which is adjacent to the Ocho Drop-In Center, was constructed at a cost of $22 million. It can accommodate 13 men and 7 women at a time, providing temporary shelter, meals, and bathroom amenities. Minister McKenzie assures that the facility will make accommodation for additional people if it becomes necessary. He says the new night shelter and the drop-in center are also serving as a base to rehabilitate the homeless persons they accommodate.
And 5 of these homeless persons have been rehabilitated and has been placed in permanent employment in the parish of St. Anne. There is one person from the facility who is currently pursuing a certificate in agriculture at Ebony Park Art Academy, a homeless person at the St. Anne Municipal Corporation of St. Anne.
The minister says there are plans to create a therapeutic park within the shelter's vicinity to enhance the quality of life for those who seek refuge there. The $605 million upgrade of the number 1 and 2 pumping stations at the Rhine Park water supply system in St. James is near completion. Minister with responsibility for water, Matthew Samuda, says the project is expected to improve the reliability of service to about 8,000 customers in the Rhine Park housing development and the communities of Spot Valley, Edmund Ridge, and Mount Zion. The project was divided into 2 phases, with the first covering mechanical and electrical upgrading of the 2 pumping stations.
This investment includes significant investment in storage capacity to put in new tanks, but it also importantly involves investment in the mechanical side. So we've changed out the pumping infrastructure, and we're now in a position to ensure that we're able to provide in excess of 1.1 million gallons daily.
Phase 2 of the project includes the procurement and construction of 5 kilometers of ductile iron pipes. This is to transfer water from the Martha Bray trunk main in the vicinity of the Hilton Rose Hall Hotel to the 500,000-gallon storage reservoir at Rhine Park Phase 3.
We're also doing some work on the distribution lines to ensure that it is modern infrastructure and that the appropriate resilience is indeed built in. So this is just another example of the significant investment that is being made in water infrastructure.
The minister was speaking on day 2 of a tour of water systems in Western Jamaica. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security will soon release an accessibility checklist to guide institutions in ensuring people with disabilities have easy access to buildings and other services. Portfolio Minister Pernell Charles Jr. says this is being done to address the more than 80% of public areas in Jamaica that are still not entirely accessible to people with disabilities. The checklist, which was created in collaboration with the Bureau of Standards, BSJ, will allow for an accessibility standard across sectors for treating people with disabilities and the necessary infrastructure.
The Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities will continue to actively pursue the establishment of standards to reduce discrimination in access to public transportation and public buildings, and to establish monitoring mechanisms for compliance with the accessibility component of the building code by finalizing the requisite codes of practice and presenting those to Parliament incrementally over the next 3 to 4 years.
A code of practice for education and training that speaks to inclusion is also being completed.
That will guide your educational institutions, our parents, and all persons involved in the education sector in terms of the engagement with our students and persons with disabilities, and to ensure that an inclusive environment is maintained.
The minister was addressing last week's post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House. And finally, consumers are being encouraged to shop around for lower prices in light of an average 9% increase in the price for school textbooks compared to last year. That urging comes from the Consumer Affairs Commission, CAC, following its annual school textbook survey. The agency surveyed 175 popular textbooks for infant, primary, and secondary students across 57 bookstores island-wide. It revealed that most price increases were between 1 and 10%, while 17% of the textbooks surveyed increased by between 11 and 20%. The average price increase in the Greater Kingston metropolitan area was 9% and 8% in rural towns. The survey also shows a 31% difference between the highest and lowest prices observed for textbooks island-wide, except for literature novels, where the average difference was 75%. This is reportedly due to differences in the covers, publishers, and sources. The CAC survey also highlights that more bookstores have increased their use of technology to communicate with consumers through the use of apps like WhatsApp messaging and their social media and web pages. Parents and guardians are therefore encouraged to use the available online options and to shop around and take advantage of lower-priced old stock and discounts or second-hand books where they exist. Parents and guardians must also check with schools to ensure the books are still relevant. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.